Captain Marvel punches an old woman in the face. That's all you need to know about how awesome the new Captain Marvel teaser trailer is. What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Meek, the Uber Geek. Welcome to Pretty Dece. Thanks very much for tuning in. This is your daily entertainment and pop culture show. And yes, we are talking about Captain Marvel. And yes, in this first trailer, Captain Marvel does knock the spit out of an old woman inexplicably in this first trailer. It's absolutely awesome. Now, chances are the woman that gets knocked out is a Skrull. As we talked about before, the Skrull are an alien race that is kind of infiltrating Earth, and they are shapeshifters. So these shapeshifters can take the form of anyone, oftentimes superheroes, and they try to work their way into the inner workings of teams like the Avengers, for example. But in this case, I'm guessing that this old woman on the bus is a Skrull, and that led to the aforementioned face punching. Nonetheless, it was a very awesome, jarring moment in this trailer to see Captain Marvel just haul off and whack this old lady. So, you know, who knows if she is a Skrull, if she isn't. I'm sure there's going to be lots of points in this movie where we don't know as the audience. I'm sure shocking things will happen. We won't know who's a Skrull, who isn't, who's telling the truth, who's not. Anything that is done well involving shapeshifters has that level of confusion and doubt built in, and I think that's super, super exciting. And especially if this old woman turns out to not be a Skrull, the fact that she just got, smacked in the face by a superhero is going to be certainly a fun one to explain for Captain Marvel. So this trailer, let's break down a little bit of what happens in this trailer, because I think it really does a good job of setting the tone for the Captain Marvel film without giving a lot away about the plot. But it opens, as we know that the movie kind of opens, with Captain Marvel crashing to Earth. So literally having a crash landing like a meteor. She flies through the roof of a building, falling from the sky. And then the camera pans down and we find out that the building is a blockbuster. So she's landed in the middle of a blockbuster. That is the perfect, most simple way to set the stage of this movie is happening in the 90s. I really love that we're going to see little Easter eggs and funny little things like that, like her falling into a blockbuster. I think that's great and perfect setup for the 90s setting of this movie. I'm glad they're going to utilize it in those ways. Now, a young Nick Fury narrates this trailer, talking about, enemies and foreign wars and basically he's going to be there kind of side by side with her for this movie is what it seems like. When Captain Marvel first lands, when she crash lands, she is wearing a green flight suit. So the green flight suit is a throwback, a version of the Kree military uniform, because we know that she is half Kree. She was trained by the alien race Kree. So she's still wearing that green outfit. And then later, when she gets her Captain Marvel outfit, it is just a recoloring, essentially, of that same Kree military uniform, which is pretty cool. The film seems to indicate, of course, as we know from just the character, that she has a past on Earth, but she can't remember it. So she gets flashes of a childhood playing baseball, and that's cut with her military training and possibly even experiments that were done on her. It's not really clear, but she's very troubled. She doesn't really know kind of who she is or where she belongs, is what it seems like a lot of the film is going to be exploring. We do get a shot of her as well in full helmet mode. She's looking awesome. In fact, we see a team of Skrull warriors underwater, which is super cool, again, in full military attire with their full helmets and mohawks on. So it looks like we're going to get a lot of really, really cool stuff. And again, the old lady punching. I can't talk about the old lady punching enough and how hilarious that was. Again, I think we're going to have a lot of moments like that where things unexpectedly happen. We find out people are Skrulls that maybe we've been following for the entire film, or things are hinted at that the audience will know that maybe Captain Marvel and the rest of the main characters won't know. Any good story with Skrulls does things like this, so I'm really excited to find all those little hidden elements. It also seems like this is going to be a very massive sci-fi movie. One of the things, going in I was a little worried about was that the majority of this movie would take place on Earth, and we wouldn't get any sort of info about her intergalactic past, or we wouldn't explore the greater cosmic Marvel world that goes along with Captain Marvel. I thought maybe it would be a little too grounded. That doesn't seem to be the case. So there's lots of shots of in space. There's lots of shots of, the Kree and the Skrull especially forming massive armies. And there's a spaceship that pops into existence in the atmosphere. So this is going to be full on sci-fi. This is going to be quite intergalactic, quite cosmic, which makes me very excited. I think that's, again, one of the big strengths of things like Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel here, is we get to explore that world that people are so interested in that the other Marvel movies don't necessarily get to quite as much. So I like taking advantage of that when we have the chance. So all in all, this trailer does exactly what a trailer should do. It gets you very excited for this movie. You get all pumped up about it without giving away much of the plot. It leaves you speculating and guessing and wanting more. So I'm really excited to see how they put this one together. And it's going to be a long wait until 2019 when we finally get to watch this movie. So that's going to do it for Pretty Dece for today. Thank you very much for joining me to talk about this first trailer for Captain Marvel. We obviously will get more trailers coming up. But again, I like things being a bit of a mystery. I like going into a movie not really knowing every single detail. So I kind of hope they keep them as vague as we see here. If you want to support Pretty Dece, you can do so. Visit prettydeceshow.com/listener support to find out all those details and, help support the show, help me keep making this show and offset some of the costs of URLs and all of those fun things, equipment, to help make this a reality. You can also listen to the show, of course, wherever podcasts are downloaded, your favorite podcast delivery platform, or the video version on YouTube. Just search for Pretty Dece on YouTube, or visit prettydeceshow.com/video. And finally, follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram @PrettyDeceShow.